Howdy, how's it going, everyone? My name is Bree. I'm the community manager for Synty Studios, and I'm currently here with the rest of the Synty team. Today we're doing a live stream to essentially provide you questions and answers and a brief overview of the new nature biome packs. But I'll let everyone introduce themselves first. So you've already heard my name, you've heard what I do. We'll move on to Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a bit of a generalist in this. Mostly working on the shaders and stuff for this pack, and some of the trees and stuff like that. But yeah.
Hi, my name's Cameron. I'm a 3D artist and technical artist, and I helped out with a lot of the 3D models, the trees, branches, and props, as well as creating a wind tool, which I'll be able to show you off later on.
Hey, I'm Max. I'm a concept artist, and I'm pretty new to the company. Just been working on some future packs and stuff. And yeah, really excited to be working here.
Hi, I'm Mike. One of the art people. I've been around since the beginning and make art. That's kind of it. I'm really excited to show the stuff today. It's very, very cool stuff. I mean, this is very different to what we usually do. It's a lot more technical, but it's very, very exciting stuff, and we're definitely keen to show some of the aspects that we've been working on.
I'm Justin. I've also been here since close to the start as a modeler and artist, and yeah, just do a bit of everything.
And Answer's on mobile data because he just moved the house recently. So yeah.
Yes, I'm like indie game dev, but now here at Synty Studios doing biz dev.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's everyone. I myself am personally really excited because also being quite new to the company, this is the first time I'm taking part in a pack release, which is super exciting. And it's real cool seeing everything being done, the behind the scenes. And I'm really excited to show everyone what we've been working on today. So, Mike, take it away.
Yeah, so I just make a note. I'm just reading the comments now. So, Jason, your mic's a bit quiet. And Cam, your mic is so loud, it's like ASMR every time you It's so I can hear like every like
better for me.
What about now?
Crunch.
As soon as we hit the live button, everyone's quality has just changed.
It changed completely.
So quiet?
yeah.
Is that any better?
Sounds good to me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's better.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah. I think Cam needs noise suppression on or something, maybe broadcast.
What about that
we can
now?
That sounds good.
Much better.
That seems better. Yeah,
It's better.
Excellent. Cool. So anyway, yeah, we've been working on this nature stuff for a few months now. We decided to do 3 packs at once, mainly because the packs are so reliant on the core shader system. So this, for example, the trees and the water use one core shader. It was easier for us to make one core shader that worked across all the packs. It means we can add more packs later. It means that we don't, if we want to do an update, we only have to fix the one shader. We've got some problems at the moment with URP, which we're working on, and it's nice for us just to be able to go through and like make the edits to the one thing, and then we can deploy that as an update. So if you are currently trying to load up packs in URP, we do have some fixes coming out for that soon. It's mainly with the loading. But that's kind of the biggest reason why we did this as a set with kind of a core shader, and that's why it is worth doing them all together. It means that we can kind of test out the different problems that we might face. So for example, if we design the pack and we just did normal trees, then it's like, okay, cool, how does that work on a tropical island 3 months later? And we're like, oh, it doesn't work at all. So being able to design it on multiple kind of instances and a whole bunch of scenarios means that we can make something that's kind of more robust and compatible long term. So very, very exciting to show off some of the stuff we have today. This is a this is a pretty big amount of stuff to release at one time, and we're really excited about it. So I think I'll hand it over to Jason just to kind of give a quick little run through of some of the shader stuff. One thing I would recommend doing, Jason, if you haven't done it already, is just turning up the shadow draw distance in the project settings. But yeah, I mean, let's just jump straight into it and show some stuff. So I'll get Jason will start screen sharing, and we can kick off some of the shader stuff just so you can see how the trees work and some of the kind of technical details. We'll just jump straight in, I think.
Indeed.
You know, it's definitely cool just to show some of the like the crux of it. You know.
Gotta find the right thing to share.
And yeah,
Really
while
stop
he's
showing anything.
while he's setting that up, we do have a few other shaders in here as well. We've got the regular skybox two-tone gradient shader. We've also got a cloud shader that Jason set up, which has some nice cloud lighting. We also have some particle effects clouds in there as well, which add a bit of like stylistic variation. So you don't necessarily have to have kind of the faceted clouds. And we've also got a few other kind of minor shaders as well. So in combination, it all kind of comes together quite nicely. Some of the scenes use some of the shaders, some of the scenes don't. We don't necessarily push the water too much in, say, the meadow scene. It's used a little bit in the swamp as well, but it really comes to life when you're using it on the tropical island. So it really depends on kind of the use case. But once again, we did want a shader that was relatively robust that could kind of drive everything, and that was really important. Is that working, Jason?
Is it working, Bree?
Cool. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's working. There we go.
There
I'll hand
we
it over
go.
to Jason. Perfect.
Yeah, so tropical island. As far as the shader stuff is concerned, we've got, I mean, a big part of it is just the wind and so forth. If I just grab this here. So we've tried to make it as robust as possible. So we've got separate leaf and trunk kind of albedo and all that kind of jazz, as you would expect with normal maps and all that. But moving down, we've also got like a global color tint and sort of extra color noise, so you can sort of have a global effect, just to sort of break it up.
Sorry, someone's got like a blender in the background.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, standard live stream quality stuff.
Anyway, sorry.
We're live.
Yeah.
And there's also a flat color switch as well, so that if you just want it to be just a flat color, instead of using the texture, it'll still use a normal map and all that kind of jazz, but just means that you can have it a little more stylized, which is kind of cool. And then again, separate thing for the trunk. If you want to add some variation to that. We've got some emissive in there as well, which we'll show you later in a different scene. Big thing is the wind. So it's just shader wind. That's it can be driven globally. We've got a tool for that, which I think Cam's going to show you. But we've got, if I drag that up, just so I can show you the sort of full directionality. This is per material. So if you want to change it, it will be, if you want a different setting on a different part of the area, you'll have to make a duplicate of the material. But yeah, got gust settings and.
Can you tell us the noise in there? Like, how does the noise work with? Because we don't just have everything moving at once, right? You've got like kind of waves moving over the scene.
Yeah, so
and that's not just the trees as well. That's the grass, the bushes, the jungle trees.
Yeah.
So got a bit
this is just working on one particular material, but if you adjust it globally, then it'll do everything all at once. But you can sort of see it going over the scene in a wave, and that works no matter what direction you're throwing it at. And yeah, you can have it a little adjust the frequency of it and so forth. I guess I could just show you that tool straight away, or should I leave that for Cam?
No, don't show us the tool. Don't ruin Cam's moment. We'll show the tool later.
yeah, pretty much. We've also got some more localized stuff for the leaves. Just turn that.
Oh, that's
down.
lovely. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got a little bit of leaf jitter as well, and that all depends on the plant itself. So the because this is all vert painted, so the leaves are just whatever we've painted, green or blue or whatever. So you'll get a bit more leaf jitter on that as opposed to the little trunk and so forth. And on top of that, I've called it frosting, but it just means that you can use it as a highlight on the top. So it's good for snow in this instance. But you can just give it some kind of brighter color.
Good for
cool.
stylizing again.
Just add a bit of highlight.
But
or
yeah, the snow would
something
make more sense on pretty much anything except tropical trees.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's how we've done this one. So this is a Pahudakawa from a local plant here. So I've just added this little bit of red there. So without it, it's just the flowers and so forth. But adding a bit of red kind of pops it out.
Could you change that to white and just show us like if it was snow? Because that's probably a good example of what's. Yeah, there you go, bomb snow. You know. So we do have that in there. We didn't really show it off in any of the media. It's like we're going to be doing an alpine pack later, and it'll be more interesting. It'll have more snow stuff in it. This is just kind of like it's in there. It's for future use. You can use it now if you want. You know, it's optional, but really the packs aren't designed to be snow packs. You know, like they're all kind of like meadows and things like that. So we will be doing more snow stuff in the future, but it's in there if you want to get started, and certainly the stuff will be usable in the future as snow assets if you want.
Indeed. Yeah, so I mean that's the gist of the main vegetation shader. Should I go over questions for that, or should I go into water and clouds and stuff?
I mean, what's in, yeah, I guess you could show it on the grass. Like, can we have a quick look at the shader on the grass? Yeah, I reckon go to meadows and show the shader kind of like sweeping through the grass. Like, I think it's really nice how it's set up in there.
The waves of wind.
Yeah, so it's not just a shader that's designed for trees. As you can see, it's kind of like got the wind blowing over the grass and things like that make a big difference. So it's a pretty cool shader.
Yeah,
it does a lot. Keep in mind these scenes are relatively heavy, but we do have lotting in them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very demo-y. So yeah, they've got no optimization in the base, so they don't have a collision.
So we've also got this a gust highlight on there, so just to sort of make it more obvious that it's gusting, but you can turn that off just so that you just get the motion. But you could also have it whatever color you want if you want to get super stylized about it. But that basically shows you how it's moving across the scene anyway. Yeah,
it's very cool. It's very cool. And then there's also color variation within the clumps and things, right? Like it's a little bit easier to visualize it on grass than it is on a tree when you've got things like color variants in there. So
yeah, sure. So we've got so there's just the base color, which is the underlying color, and then obviously the extra noise on top of that, and then there's a larger sort of scene noise. So that's kind of a visualization of the frequency of it, but then you've got the control over the scale of it all. So reasonably robust as far as just getting some variation in your scene.
And I think that like we haven't really used, let's say for example, the trunk one. We haven't really used it much in this scene. We've used it in the swamp. We don't need to jump the swamp just yet. Can we go over the LODs quickly before we go over the next shader? I think we've been asked a lot about lodding in here and how that's been set up. Maybe nice to just maybe show us one of the trees and how the lodding works in there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, don't quite know how far you need to go, but so there's obviously just the. Let's just drag this out. Did I just drag the LOD, didn't I?
That's the problem with LODs. They're all like.
So the main node is effectively just a group node that houses all of the LOD information. So you've got, if I just turn that color off, so the first level is obviously the most
Hero.
the
Highest
hero
quality.
hero version.
Yeah.
So these will be all of the subsequent levels. Just to sort of give you an idea. So it will theoretically.
You should be able to just click on the group underneath.
Yeah,
So
I
it'll
just
show
want to sort of
everything
show
up
the
close.
transition. But
Right.
but yeah, so it's just means that it'll go like at the very extreme end, it's just this card, or sort of a cross card, just to give it still a little bit of three-dimensionality to it. But then yeah, it just goes lower and lower, I suppose. It was
Yeah.
mostly because these are relatively heavy, especially compared to the rest of our assets. But underneath there, I've also got separate branches and so on. But yeah.
So you can turn the leaf canopies off, right? Like, is that the? I guess you can do it in the material. You can make
Yeah,
the
you'd have to
material
do it
black,
in
and you
the material. Yeah.
You kind of
Um,
hack dead trees if you wanted to. So if you
Yeah,
wanted to
but
set
we
that
definitely
to
needed
none.
lots for the nature, just so we can put in a million plants and grasses.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
trees.
you'd have to.
If it was old school quality, it would just not run.
Yeah. The other thing is you can do a quick hack for the lodding by maximum LOD level. If you make that 1, then all of the LODs will be they won't go to the maximum LOD level. I mean, you could make that 3 if you wanted, and then it's only cards. And I suppose it does depend on how many LODs. They don't all have the same amount of LODs in them, just because some of the more dense trees, so like sort of the big boy, it's just got more polys in it, so I had to add another level of LOD in there, so that's got 4 in total, as opposed to some of the smaller ones which only have 3 in total.
Yeah, and some of the even smaller ones have just got like the model and then a card.
And yeah.
Card, yeah. Especially swamp, like we have lodding on every, like a lot of stuff. Like we have lodding on like the slime,
Like the
we
lily
have
pads
lodding
and the
yeah.
Show you that.
I think those
Yeah,
lily
you can open
pads
up the
actually,
swamp
do they
also.
have?
Yeah, these
Yeah.
lily pads are also just card until you're up close, and then they get 3D.
Yeah. So main 3D and then card for which is
Card
normal
still
maps.
looks pretty damn pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
You know,
what we've tried to do. Is try to still
Yeah.
make the
Yeah,
lower
I've still
levels
got normal
look
maps and stuff, so they're
valid.
pretty much
Yeah.
fine anyway.
yeah. That's pretty cool.
Indeed.
That's awesome. Let's go. We'll just go quickly into the water shader, I think, a tropical.
Sure.
And then show off the cloud one quickly. And then I think we'll get Justin to go through just in the scene. He can show off some of the environment stuff. He can show off some of the stuff in the levels, like maybe some of the little tidbits, just do a little fly around. And he can also show off some of the terrain stuff, like, for example, if you wanted to make your own little island or something.
Sure.
Yeah. What? Fine. So.
Now, I did some of this. I'm quite proud of the small amount of stuff that I did on this.
Yeah. It was you did the majority of the work on this one. I just sort of rehashed it. So I mean, it's got a fair few options in it, but they're all relatively straightforward. I mean, I tried to name them as obvious as possible. But yeah, things like the opacity and the fall off of it, whether or not you want it to be more or less opaque at the beach end. Just mostly just stylized choices. Minimum opacity means that just at the fall off, whether you want it to go fully transparent or not. And then just basic specular type things. This is where you'll get the majority of the functionality out of it. Is just the color of the ocean.
Oh, that's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
The Red
Like
Sea.
Alien Planet. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like if you're in a
and then-
desert or something, you know. Like,
Yeah, and then just the fall off to the beach. So there's a couple of different fall offs in there. So because there's 3 zones, they all kind of work together with each other. So you sort of have to finagle it a little bit.
and then, maybe I'll do all that and then show them the wave properties.
So you just got the basic sort of caustics in there as well.
You might need to zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, true. It'd be stream quality, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
Yeah, these are relatively basic in there, but you've got control of the color and so forth as well.
Yeah, cool. Oh, that's kind of cool.
We've also got a. Wait, what's that one? Oh yeah, that was sort of a fake.
Refraction, I guess you call it.
Refraction, yeah. It gives you something. It just adds a little bit of life to it. Otherwise, without it just looks kind of flat and weird. But so it just adds a little bit of something. And then there's just how fast it's moving, and that's all driven by a normal map. And then we've got where it intersects with any objects. So including that, just turn that off. So you'll see it has a foam edge. That's all driven by foam. So that's just the main edge there. And then that also includes the little breakup. That texture is basically just a color. But yeah.
Show us the waves. Show us the waves.
Sure. Let's get there.
Show us the waves.
I mean, you got the smaller waves with the ripples.
Yeah. No, show us the big ones. I want to see the big bad boys.
But so that's just a little ripple there. So yeah, full wave.
So yeah, you could have a pretty you could have a pretty large scene if you wanted to have like pretty rough ocean and things like that. You could certainly make that happen. And there's also some finer wave settings as well, but it's designed so that you can just easily just drop into a scene and you don't necessarily have to have it wavy. You can have it more like the swamp where it's quite still, but it still works. You've got a lot of options here. There's also it's basically running off a plane, so the size of the plane does affect kind of the resolution. So we do have some planes in there. So you might need to use more planes or less planes in your scene, like make a tile within the scene. So you just have to have like a copy of them. But I mean, the one that's in there is pretty good. Stylistically, it matches pretty well. But yeah, you could have it more detailed if you make the planes smaller. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool show.
Yeah. Then there's a sort of rolling foam as well.
I just have it on it quite subtle, yeah. It's, I checked
it's just there just to sort of add a bit of dimensionality to it.
Bit of breakup,
And then that's all just driven by a noise mask, pretty much.
Yeah. You could switch those out if you wanted to, or customize them. It's not too difficult. This is all built on Amplify as well, so if you want to edit any of the stuff, you can just load it up in Amplify if you have it. Then just go through and make edits, but it is quite complex, so it's easy to break.
I just had a sorry to interrupt. Just a question from Mega Miley asking if there is any underwater shader included, plus a transition system for the camera when it goes underwater.
Yeah, so the problem is because there's so many URPs in Unity, is there's no like one solution for it. The render pipelines, the URP and HTTP do it differently. They use volumes. The original render, the original one does it slightly different as well. What I'd recommend doing is making a volume depending on what render system you're using, and then I would put a post profile on it, and that's how I would do it. So I would use a post profile volume to do the underwater stuff, but you will need to set that up depending on what pipeline you're using, but relatively easy. Just post effect profile, make it slightly blue, that kind of stuff. So pretty easy to get underwater stuff looking good.
Yeah, I've also got to put a glow on there if you wanted it, if you got a nighttime scene.
Actually, can we get Justin to show the bioluminescent stuff? Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's a real cool one.
Sure.
Hey, Justin's going to screen share and we'll show you guys some cool.
Should already be screen shared.
I think it's yeah, where you can find it.
It's cool switching the water to like a red. You can get that like
like
iron
that.
lung kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said a sea of Fanta.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Toothpick A for
Okay.
days.
Just there we go.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Also put it in play mode because then you can see all the effects as well. It sort of all just comes to life when you highlight them a little bit, which is also in the daytime version as well. But yeah, a lot of the effects is what we do is to bring life to it rather than actual like animals. But you've still got like, you know, the little crabs and things.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can
both.
show them off in the daytime.
But yeah, there's the water shader at nighttime. It's got the
Wow.
glowing foam and highlights the caustics under the water.
If you grab that, select the water, and then there's a glow at the bottom of that. So all the way to the bottom of the shader. So if you grab the depth glow.
Yeah, it's like an overall glow to it, but you can definitely
that's cool.
get some interesting results.
Yeah. Yeah. Purple was quite cool. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mm.
It's pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
It's pretty interesting. You'd have to do some fine tweaking on it, but
Yeah, there's a fall off there.
yeah. Should I show off the swamp?
Can you fly through
Show
the
us
jungle a
some
little
jungle.
bit? Show us some jungle, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
So the bioluminescence basically is just a kind of like a material add-on, and it's just basically using a mask. So we have it in there, so it's kind of optional. If you want to do avatar kind of stuff, you can. You know, it can be very much used in a sci-fi setting. This technically does work in the other scenes, but we haven't really set them up for that. It's just, you know, these are just a few masks. So the other scenes don't really have ferns and palm trees, so they'll just use the regular kind of like you know, leaf glow or whatever. So it's mainly for the tropical island, but it's looking pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you could get some interesting results in the swamp as well. But yeah, we've only really shown it off in the tropical scene, but it is there if you need it for the other packs.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, let's load up the daytime one, and just going to give you just a couple of minutes, just show them how to paint like a little island for people who haven't used it.
Show off the effects first.
I'll show off the effects of the
Oh,
daytime
the effects.
version.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
we got like the. Let me highlight them again, actually. So it'll be bright orange, but you'll be able to see there's a lot of things going on. We got like the seagulls, turtles swimming around, lots of schools of, you know, little multicolored fish, and obviously all the bigger ones and stingrays and stuff like that. Big barracudas or eels, or you know, we got the even the clouds. We got a cloud system that's just basically stretches textures around as an effect, rather than the models. But the models look pretty good on their own as well. We got some. Where are they? Tropical birds that have a bit of 3D-ness to them, so they actually rotate around and fly around in a 3D space. So we got the 2D ones, which were more like a background card sort of thing, where they're 2D and they're good for a skybox. But then we've got some that are you can actually have move through the scene and look good from multiple angles, as well as like the sun rays, water effects. So it's got a bit of motion to it. Really sort of all just brings it to life. And my favorite one, the little crabs, which is just like a 2-frame animation, but works pretty well.
Yeah, it works pretty well. And they got a normal map on them, so they light. You can have them.
Yeah, and they got like a little bit of shape to them, so that they cast a shadow and
Okay, let's paint a little island. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So this is for, I guess, if you don't know how to use the terrain system, because it can be quite daunting if you've never used it before. But Justin will just show you very quickly how to paint a little island. Very simple.
Yeah, no, it's not too hard. I will have to. I guess this isn't the final project, so that's fine. But yeah, terrain gets shared across all scenes. So you just come over here to raise or lower terrain. You'll be able to slowly pull it up out of the ground. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, actually.
Now, one thing we should probably mention here is just when you're doing this stuff, keep everything set really low. It's really easy when you're starting out to set everything real high and you're just creating too much variance in there.
You want it to go too slow, if anything. As soon as you go too high, then you get sharp points like that. You want it to be nice, slow.
Take your time, build it up. That's how terrain, don't rush it.
And then we got the different textures, which we got a whole bunch already preset built in. But if you have multiple packs, you could, in theory, add layers from the other packs, and then you can have the moss from swamp, or cobblestone paths from meadows, that sort of stuff. Let me just put some grass on. This will be a little higher. So you can just paint in all the different textures.
Can you show us the ribbed? After that, the ribbed ground.
Some rocks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or just some like basic corals, which from above water looks fine. You'd want to grab some of the other ones and actually flesh out some, modeled corals and seaweed. What did you want to? The rib cage?
You've got the ribbed sand, so if you go back to your little island.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, so we've got different little patches of sand if you wanted to have. I don't know if this angle's going to line up properly, but yeah, so you got like waves of sand.
Yeah, typically, you would just paint that in.
You would just do like a little patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, put some of that back in.
There you go. Perfect.
It's just a touch.
Yeah,
but
really
it definitely breaks things up and makes it look a little more natural.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We've also got wet sand, which you would just want right on the edge of the water. Then it gives it a bit of shine where the waters come up, and obviously left just a strip of wet sand around the edges.
Yeah, it's real cool.
Oops.
Now, you could do probably a lot of this, if you're very technically minded, you could potentially export the maps out and you could do some of the stuff kind of procedurally, or you could do it, using a tool or something. So you could work out basically the terrain, and then you could say, okay, well, I want to take the terrain, I'll export out a map, take the grayscale value and say, okay, well, I just want to put, I would use it as a mask on, because you can actually export the textures out of Unity, and you can get the layering. You can kind of hack those. So you could go through and you could, design a scene and then have wet sand around the edges and things if you wanted to. You could do quite a bit of stuff with the terrain system. And we don't use it typically just because it's quite complex, and it's got a lot of limitations, especially when you just want to bash stuff together. Terrain is really kind of not a great way to A, prototype and B, work as a team, because obviously the terrains are shared. So we typically use stacked meshes, but the terrain stuff is really powerful when you do use it.
That being said, we do still have this is just a blob mesh for background stuff, because your terrain is, you set a amount, but then if you want something that's even further out of that field, then you can. We've got materials set up so you can have sand on other models and stuff, so it's not as high quality as the terrain itself, but you could have islands way out here if you wanted, sort of thing.
It's basically like a combination. You want to use
extra little island here now.
That's a pretty good looking little island. Look at that, instant results. That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. That looks great. very, very cool. Okay, cool. I think that's looking pretty good. I reckon we get Cam to show off his tool quickly, and then I might just do a little overview of the swamp scene. So, Cam, if you want to show us probably this scene, right? The Tropical Island's probably a good one. Show your tool off.
Can drag it up.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll just share my screen.
Perfect, and then Bree can turn that on. Can we all stay queued up, Bree? Like, can we all have our screens like set up in a list?
I wish.
Okay, that's annoying.
It doesn't want my life to be that easy.
Cool. So this amplify shader slider is just a way for people to change the wind globally. So, for example, take this tree here and change the can select from this drop down and change the wind amount, and it will it's not the best to see in here.
Can you turn on your layering, Cam? The post effects layer. It's the one next to the light bulb at the top of the viewport. Two
one?
over. No, next one. Then we'll click on that. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Then it'll play in.
So you see the.
Yep.
I'll just go to the.
Yeah. There we go. So you can see the amount changing.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect.
And you can also change the direction as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So.
Yeah, so keep in mind, this is changing grass, bushes, trees. It's the whole scene, wind direction.
I'll open up a scene that I did, which can show off the grass a bit better.
Okay, cool.
So
something I prepared earlier.
This one here.
So,
you can change the.
It's like pulsing like hard out now because it's just settings.
Yeah. See, like that, or the wind direction will actually.
The wind direction is probably a better one to show, right? Like it's
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
because without
Probably
this
have to
tool,
go on.
otherwise it'd be a pain in the ass going through every fern, palm,
material.
bush, and make the direction change. Whereas this will control all of them.
So.
Can you go back to the scene, Cam? I think this one here is not a great. It's just the quality is not high enough for us to really see what's going on. Yeah, there you go. I think it's much better to see it in here.
Yep. So you can also change the gust amount.
Yeah, that's cool.
There we go.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're all wobbly. I love
so
it. It's like palms.
It can be hurricane season if you want.
Yeah.
And this one's quite.
No, okay. So people are asking this. This is going to be free. It's just a plugin. You don't need to have Amplify Shader installed. This is just a little tool. We're just going to chuck on Discord after this. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be similar to that Polygon import tool where we just apply it and you guys can use it and modify it to your liking.
Yeah, it's basically
It's
just
unofficially supported free tool. Yeah.
all it's doing is searching this like for the global setting it's got there. It's just searching the scene for materials that use the shader.
Yeah, so it just accesses every it accesses these ones here, and then you can just change it, and you can see them change.
Yeah, so the main
Pretty
thing
cool.
is
It's pretty
if you
cool.
have got any individual settings on materials that you don't want to change, the applying it globally will change every material that's being used in that scene.
Yeah, this is a destructive tool.
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
That's once again why we also are only releasing it for free on our Discord because it's a very destructive tool.
Yeah. I mean, for the majority of cases, the items that we have got listed in that drop-down box, they are the things that would most likely be global anyway. So like wind direction and the gust amount and things like that. But you could just use that to set it at the start, and then if you want to micro adjust anything, you can just make a duplicate of the material and apply that to the other things.
It's very cool. I think that's going to be real fun to see what people do with that. It's just like you could have a weather system, based on something like that, It's very cool. So we'll be chucking that on Discord. Just keep an eye out. Just chuck Unity package in there. It's just a rough tool. Doesn't have any documentation. It works really it works really well. There is some other features in it, like it should drive the effects, but we need to fix that. It's currently broken. But what it does is that some of the effects are directional, like there's like little leaves that blow through. Now, to get that to work with this tool, you need to rotate the particle effects. So we've actually got that working, but well, it's not currently working, but that will be added as well. So there should basically just be a really easy way for you to be able to go change a whole scene with a couple of clicks of the button. Easy peasy. Nice and easy. Okay, cool. I think I'll screen share for a little bit. We've got another 15 minutes. And I'll show the swamp off. So I think I just come back to here and then click on... Where's the screen share? There it is, share. I understand. Let's proceed. Okay. And then I go window and I want to do...
I believe in your mic.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many apps open. And Unity's not showing up, as always. Oh, no, they're changing. The apps are changing in real time. There we go. Tell me if that works.
There you go.
Perfect. So I'll go to the marshland. Let's have a look. Cool. So, yeah, no, I mean, this is all so exciting. I mean, the stuff looks really cool. We haven't shown the swamp on the stream yet. The swamp's probably the most like dreary of all of them. But it's quite cool. It's got frogs and things like that in it. I can actually find one of the frogs here. Oh no, that's it. There you go. The frogger.
Whoa. Jump
So,
up on
so
the
we've
wall.
got some.
That was quality, actually.
Yeah, it was like perfect. It's like
Yeah.
they're never perfect. These frogs are
Because they're
really
just
hard to get to
collision.
do anything.
It's just collision based, so it's fully random where they jump. But that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's really fun. So we've got frogs in here. We've got all the trees in here. As we've shown before, you can do things like changing the lodding. So, for example, if you're finding that maybe, I mean, this stuff's pretty heavy on the top lod. You can bring in from your project settings. I'm assuming you guys can see that. You can under the quality option, you can actually change the lod bias. So you can actually change it so that maybe you want to have stuff lodding sooner, or maybe you don't want any lods. Maybe you're like, I don't know, you're on a PS5 or something. So I don't need lods. I'd recommend having lods just because the stuff gets pretty heavy, but you can tone stuff down. So if you were, I don't necessarily recommend nature stuff for mobile. The stuff's pretty heavy. It's not really mobile orientated. It's got a heavy shader. It's not really designed for that so much. But you could certainly drop your lod bias down and then get something that's a lot more performant. And then also, as Jason has shown, you can set the maximum lod level as well, which can be a really nice little tool if you want to be able to force the lodding to a certain level. So I'll just turn that back off. But yeah, I mean, this scene's got a lot of cool stuff in it. We've got a lot of cool particles. I'll press play and we can have a quick look at some of the particles that are in here. We took the birds that Justin had done for Tropical Island, the seagulls, and we turned them into bats. Originally, they looked like bats, and then we debatified them, and then we went back and actually turned them into bats again.
Yeah, and we got the cranes as well. So we got multiple types of birds here as well.
Oh yeah, they're cool. I love those. Those are so cool. They just like fly around in the background. They're all kind of background things, you know. You're not going to make a game that's like got a crane as the main character and it's going around doing some crane stuff. Like they're just in there for fun. But some of these, just there's so much cool stuff in these scenes to like see and find. You know, like Justin's made this like bone pile texture, and I don't know if I can paint in play mode, but I can try. It might break Unity. You can actually paint piles of bones, which is super cool. So you could basically have bones wherever you want. And then he's also got
the mesh. If you go back to the pile, yeah, there's the mesh ones that you can just put on top. So it's got a bit of 3D on top of it as well as just the normal map. So it will still react to lighting and stuff reasonably well. But it's good to have some 3D awesome stuff on top.
Fantastic if you're making a dungeon game or something like that. You know, very, very cool. So yeah, we've got a lot of cool kind of like little things in here that we haven't really like. It's hard to show everything off, especially in the trailers. And there's so much cool stuff in here. We're using the water shader in here with a bit of reflection on it, and that helps with. It's just using a pro, but that just helps with kind of like, you know, bringing the scene together. It's not necessarily just a swamp. There's a lot of marshland elements as well. So very, very exciting. Background tree cards, things like that. If you want to like, you know, make the scene bigger or smaller, and it's got enough in here that you can just kind of hit the ground running. You know, you can see there's like lodding on the stuff on the ground. it's just really cool. Like this stuff's just really, really fun. We'll be
Um,
flying around it for a long time, and it's like constantly kind of. It's just new things to see every time, you know.
If you want,
What's
I've
that,
opened up the red one where it's like kind of clean and crisp. If we want to show off like a different, like a way you can change the leaf color, change the lighting, and it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah,
to
go
the
for
same
it.
scene.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, let me
Switch it back to Justin Bree. This will show you, what you can do with this and the kind of like you don't.
Hold on, let me demo the nature biomes.
You don't have to stick with the one kind of look. You know, the swamp itself can be many things. It doesn't have to be a dark, misty kind of
Did
like
that
swamp.
swap what
you know.
program was showing?
It can be much more like a marshland area.
There you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so this is the same scene, but yeah, just with a different, put the leaf base color, leaf highlights to all be red, and then just made the fog go away and turned up the lighting, made the water more
Pretty
reflective,
cool.
so it's a little more, neutral looking. And then you can have a completely different vibe to the same scene.
And now it's
So
whimsical.
it doesn't have to be horror and gloomy.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty awesome. I mean, this is very much like it's kind of like more World of Warcrafty, like this could be like a totally different vibe,
That's the one.
We need an airboat. This pack comes with an airboat. Can you show them the airboat?
I don't know if there's one in the scene currently, but I'll
Had to have an airboat. It's like we already thought of that. That would have been a big oversight if we didn't have an airboat in here. There you go. So now we have an airboat, which is really cool if you're, I don't know, making a horror game, want to make a hunting game, that kind of thing. So there you go.
Or you
There's
just
a
want to make
really
a
awesome
airboat
airboat.
racing game through the swamp.
Yeah, airboat racing game.
Yeah.
Yep, can make one of those. Yep. So there you go.
And again,
There is
we've
an
got a
airboat.
fix that would put some ripples in the water. Where is it? Super deep, apparently. Oh, it's right in front of me. Cool. Yeah, that would.
It's subtle on stream, but basically it's blowing air onto the water.
Make it a little more obvious.
I don't know what
We've lo-
happened.
We've lost everyone.
Every
Oh no, we're back.
everything
no, we're not back.
disappeared. Wait,
No. Celebrity Squares will pop
crashed.
back into existence.
don't ask me.
Oh, there we go. No, we're back. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Justin. That's I like that.
That's what.
Yeah,
really
so
good.
we've just got some water effects as well as we've got the what have we got here? Some bubbles.
Can you show us? Can you show us the
Developing a
meadow
pop.
effects? Actually,
Yeah, sure.
we totally forgot about that. And you've done some really cool effects in the meadows. Once again,
Yeah,
this
see-
is the kind of stuff that doesn't get shown in the trailers.
The dragonflies and bugs.
Yeah,
it'll
it's going to be hard to see them on
stream.
stream.
Yeah,
we got some little dragonflies zipping
That's-
around.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got the-
That works.
You can kind of see them silhouetted against the tree there.
Yeah.
Let me. This is just our working folder, so it might not be the best to show off.
Can you change the other one? Go to the final version. I don't. Well, actually, you could go to the screenshots.
I guess I
windows.
can go to the base screenshot, right? Yeah.
Oh no, that's not that one. No, don't open this yet. No. Yeah, there you go. I don't know what was in those other ones. That could be could be an older version of the pack. Who knows? But here we go.
Seeing our uncleaned room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this will
yeah.
be really unclean. Yeah. This will be yeah. I mean, yeah, still looks good.
Let me.
Oh yeah, well I remember.
the-
Those kites are driven by that same vegetation shader, by the way. If you want to have a look at those.
Yeah, where are they?
Yeah, so those are actually going like straight up, right? But
Yeah, the mesh is straight
they're
up.
being
Yeah.
blown by the wind, so you can
Yeah.
change the direction of the wind, and they'll spin around like crazy.
Yeah.
So we've
Just
hacked,
having a
we've
bit of
hacked in
fun.
a few cool little things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to see if it worked. It totally did.
Yeah, let's see. So we got like the little butterflies that are again 3D, so they can, actually come past the camera or from multiple angles, and they still look good. And we got a few types. of them.
So
We've got,
good.
like, the little cabbage ones. Are they some lunar ones? Greens. Obviously the monarchs and some blue ones. I'm pretty sure somewhere over here. Yeah,
And we've got like we've done the leaf things again. We've kind of taken some of the particles we did previously and we've redone them to be a bit nicer. So this is kind of like Polygon Nature 1, but just freshed completely. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so got like the leaves blowing through the wind. Some petals blowing off like these. Whoa. So you
got the Ghost of Tsushima wind streaks.
Yeah, the wind streaks blowing over.
Yeah.
They definitely help the the wind shader going through the grass, but then you also got like the just little wisps. So that helps with suggesting the direction.
Somebody asked if the Synty Store bundle includes all future ones. No, so it's only season 1, so that's basically the current ones. We'll do next year. We're planning to do more of these. That they're popular, and we'll do another bundle with it as well. But yeah, that's just the current ones. We've got them all separate as well because people might want to have them separate. They do work together, so you should be able to bring them into the single project totally fine. Even though they're 3 different Unity packages, we've designed it so they combine. They still share the one shader, so it's easy to work along through that. Oh, that's cool.
That's the equivalent of the airboat, and this pack is the steam car.
Cool.
So each pack has a little vehicle or two, just to help flesh out the scene.
Yeah, it's very cool. Just to have something a little bit like kind of hero in some of the shots and to look at. It's kind of an important feature.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Now, what's that, Kim?
I can show off the wind, the tool. It works with the wind.
The effect.
If you'd like. Yep.
Yep. Go for it.
So I'll just show. I'll just show really quickly. So if you have any of the 2 or any of the ones that are _ wind, you can change the direction. So either you can change the direction on a selection. So you can have 2 different winds going in 2 different directions, or you can change them on all of them. And the slider here just simply rotates each one around.
As well as if you're doing it globally, it'll do all the trees and stuff as well. So you can have the wind streaks basically matching where the grass is blowing. There you go. That's kind of the use case here is you'd have basically everything in the scene changing direction if you needed to, or the amount and frequency and speed.
Yep.
I don't think the particles necessarily change the speed.
So the particles don't actually look like this. I just did this for demonstration purposes so people could see.
The blob
Yeah, we don't have giant bubbles, so.
Yeah.
But I want giant bubbles.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
Cool. Great. Do we have any questions, Bree? We probably should go through some questions if you have any before we run out of time. I'll screen share and I'll just meander around. It still says I'm sharing screen. Am I still sharing?
If you didn't stop it, it would still be going.
Yeah, you just got your swamp
Oh, that's me. Cool.
Yes, there it is.
Sweet. Yeah, if there's any questions, we can answer them. I'll just have a quick fly around the scenes again. I like fly around these scenes. I've been doing it for
Well, so far, most of the questions I did have been answered already, which is super handy.
That's good. Guess if anyone's got any questions in chat, now's the time to ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we tried to bring back a little bit of like sci-fi and things like that. We tried to tie these together with some of the new packs. So, for example, we've got a warp gate in our other pack in Meadows, just because we were like, well, it'd be really cool if the stuff was tied into some of the other stuff we've done. Where is it? There it is. And it's also got some sci-fi stuff in there as well. And it's just like, you can find these little Easter eggs within the scene that can kind of be like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it might give you an idea of, hey, I could make a sci-fi pack. That'd be quite good. A sci-fi project like a game. Or there's like little fantasy areas and things as well that we've kind of proposed. There's also like, there's a sword and a stone, like it's just there to give you some ideas and kind of prompt creativity. So we've got a few little Easter eggs in here. We've got these cool windmill things in the scene as well. I think they animate by default. I can't remember
Yeah.
if they got rehooked up. They do. Let's have a look.
They should.
They really
Unless
should.
it's a day one patch.
Yeah, they want that. Yeah. We'll be doing a patch later on today. We've got some UIP fixes to come out as well.
Syngate SY1.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, perfect.
Hilarious.
So yeah, very very cool. We're really excited with what people do with these. We're going to try and do some mashups. So we're going to do a couple of mashups later today where we'll take it might be like Swamp Horror or something like that. So we're going to do some mashups as a team. It could be like Tropical Pirates and see what we can do if we mix and match the packs together. So yeah, it's looking really cool. We've got lots of cool little things in here, temples and bridges and stuff like that. And it's it's just really exciting to be able to make this stuff again. We haven't done it for a long time, and it was very interesting doing it with so many people because it's quite a technical thing to do, especially with things like terrain. But I think we managed to make it work pretty well within our production. So we'd definitely be excited to make more of these again. Now, other biomes, just the basic ones, desert, things like that, alpine. But we'll think more about that later. What was that, Bree?
I think you just answered the question I was about to ask anyway, so it's cool.
Okay,
You
perfect.
just read my mind.
When will this be available in the Asset Store? It's currently available in the Asset Store. I don't know if they've shown up in search yet, so you can find the links on the trailers. It'll just have the Asset Store link on the trailer, so you can go and grab that right now.
The links are also posted in the Discord under the Nature Biomes channel.
Just something to note.
And Anta's gone.
Oh.
That is a cliffhanger.
right at the bit.
He's back.
So funny.
Something to note. What? Try again, Ants.
If you want to get the bundle, it's only on Synty Store. So grab the bundle. It's a bit cheaper. You get all the packs all at once. Synty Store exclusive. But all the packs are on Unity individually.
Should we come up with like a little thing like hashtag Synty Store or something? That's lame. Synty Store is good because it it's Layla mentioned it before, but it's really good because it supports us, but it's also really good for support because with Unity and Unreal and stuff, we don't really get easy access to customers to do support. So if people have issues, we can go through and we can do account changes, we can move stuff around, we can do direct support people. We've got support systems where you can contact us directly. You don't just have to leave a review or whatever. So it's better for the customer and it's certainly better for us. We're trying to provide a better experience. So please, if you do love our assets, check out Synty Store. It might be, where you buy the stuff in future, but or you might be a current customer there now. But we're trying to constantly improve the Synty Store value. So very keen to get one over to that.
And one more thing to note, like even though these packs aren't out on Unreal yet, if you buy them on Synty Store, you'll get the Unreal versions when they are released as well.
And we're going to try and get it out for Unreal as soon as possible. There's been a bit of a lag with some of this stuff. This is kind of an interesting case where there isn't that many assets. It's mainly shaders and tech and
it's going to be a hard one.
So the porting will be difficult, but we're going to try and get it done as quick as possible. Really, that's kind of.
But we're basically got to remake all of the hard part.
Yeah.
The hard part needs.
Yeah.
As opposed to just bringing over models from one engine to another. It's all obviously all the shaders.
It's so cool though. It's just so fun.
Someone asked if we, on the topic of mashing packs, whether we've put these together at all. We haven't done anything with all the 3 packs together, all the Biomes packs, but like during development, we're just kind of throwing them all around, and they will definitely work together. But they've all got their own.
Well, initially they were all kind of entwined. We had to unentwine them to release.
Yeah.
Like,
everything. Was exactly. There was a lot of temp trees just filling up spots as we did each pack, but it eventually fleshed out into their own systems.
There's a question: can the wind shader connect or be used with Unity's wind? No, not at the moment. Just because Unity's wind is a different system, you'd need to integrate that yourself.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I guess you could hack that,
from
though, right?
You could.
You could hack it.
Yeah.
I think that would be okay.
It's
I mean, the
just
thing
like
is,
global
we're not
parameters.
using Unity's. Yeah, we're not using Unity's grass either here. This is all static meshes. The last one we used Unity's grass. You could use the textures technically if you wanted to, I think, or you could use the old nature if you really wanted to have the grass. But it's just so much easier to work with grass like this. Like, wow, like I can actually do stuff with it and like modify it. Whereas Unity's grass is just really basic. So, and once again, and because it's all meshes and things like that, it'll work nicely with Gaia. We actually use Gaia for a lot of the setup in the scene. So a lot of the painting here was done by Gaia, which is really cool. And I'm assuming they'll do some. We don't really have any, like direct, I guess, I mean, we talk to Siege Wheels and stuff, but like we don't have any direct involvement within them releasing the expansion packs and things for Gaia. So that's kind of a more of like a them question. But I don't know why they wouldn't. Like this is very, very cool stuff. So keep an eye out. You might see that stuff down the road, but certainly the stuff is designed to work with Gaia. You just need to add collision, just sphere colliders or whatever to the things before you paint. But yeah, that's what we use for a lot of this stuff, and it worked out really well. Okay. I think that's it.
I just one quick question from Miley.
Sure.
Can the materials be used on the other foliage assets in different packs?
Hell no. Yeah, no, there's not even close. We didn't do any blob trees in this just because I don't know, they don't look that good. Like it's hard to make the blob trees look nice compared to these. These look fantastic. But that's not compatible at all with the previous stuff.
You'd have to. In theory, it wouldn't be too hard, but you'd have to own like Maya or potentially Blender or something to put the color on, so that the blob trees could still have the same like sway and.
It's all driven by vertex color.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but you'd have to manually do it.
We could maybe have a write-up or something on how the vertex system works, maybe. But
we've got we could certainly offer some options there. I think it's just there's a lot of problems with the blob trees because they're single surfaces and because the stuff's designed to be like wobbly or whatever.
Well, it might look like if you had a closer look at the clouds, it would probably look something similar to that with the clouds.
It could be
kind
actually,
of like shifting around. It's not a bad thing to have, and it would definitely bring some of the other scenes to life as well.
Yeah. I mean, we could have a little investigation. It would have to be done in Blender though.
It's not just a drag and drop. It's a
no.
You have to modify the model itself.
Yeah, exactly. We can look into it though. There might be some ways to make that happen. Blender.
I mean, like you could do a basic one, so without the leaf stuff on it, you could just have it just so it's just the red gradient. So you could just like import a model and then it'll just go gradient from bottom to top.
Yeah, I think the gradient would be the way. It's just I've never done it.
And then it would just be the main wind, as opposed to the
I wouldn't even. I wouldn't know where to start being the part of it. But
some stuff in theory would work, like just a blob bush. The whole bush would be shaking, but it would be moving. Ideally, you would want to modify it so the bottom doesn't move as much as the top. But
I think the point here is we don't have other foliage assets. We've got blob trees, which don't really count. They're just static mesh trees. So the foliage options really are just the original nature, and it's definitely not compatible with that. We've completely superseded that. So really, we don't have any other foliage apart from the stuff that's in here when it comes to true foliage. I wouldn't necessarily say that the blob trees are designed for this kind of stuff, because once again, you might have a lot of problems with the trunks not being cut into the bushes, and it's just some stuff going weird. But we can have an experimentation when we do our next R&D thing and just see if we can do it in Blender quickly, because it'd be nice. I mean, you can technically within the scene, as you've seen with the kites, there's also where's the flag at? Do we have it in here?
It will be around by the cave from the back, or there's one there.
Yeah, so you can use the wind to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like the shader can be used not just on trees, but you can actually use it to make cloth windy. You can use it to make the kites blow in the wind. So you could potentially use this on like a pirate ship's sails. There's a lot of opportunity here for it to do it. It's just it is very technical, so we need to figure out a way to communicate that. Maybe it's just a short YouTube video, but I don't think it would be necessarily hard to make it work. If you know Maya, easy. It's just communicating it to someone that doesn't know how to do that, because it's pretty complex stuff. As soon as you get into the vertex color thing, it's transferring from meshes to other meshes. It's making sure that you're doing it in certain like color spaces and things like that. So that is quite technical. But yeah, no, it's not a bad idea actually. It's quite cool. Yeah, use it for all sorts of stuff. Okay, I think that's it. Like, I think we're looking pretty good for timing. I don't think there was anything else. We might have missed some questions on Discord potentially. Did we have anything on Discord, Bree, or were you? I guess
The ones I
good,
pulled,
actually.
most of them were all based around the shaders,
Cool. Okay. Yep.
which
Perfect.
we pretty much answered. But I mean, we'll be on Discord all day anyways, so.
Yep. Sounds great. If you've got any questions, we'll be around. We're going to be doing a hotfix for the URP version this afternoon, so that'll be out as soon as possible. But yeah, we thanks very much everyone for checking out the live stream, and we really hope you guys enjoy the packs. If you do like the packs, please leave a review. Reviews really do help us. So please, if you like it, leave a review. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, we're really excited for this. And if they prove to be popular, then we're definitely keen to do some more. Like, they were just so fun to work on. So yeah, thanks very much, everyone. Very cool. You want to do a little outro, Bree? Go for it.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, I mean, thank you all for joining. We do very much appreciate the support. And like Mike said, leaving reviews is awesome. Join the Discord for one, because that is the main place we go to post any announcements, updates, news regarding pretty much anything with the packs. We're pretty active on there as well. So if you have any basic questions or support questions, we're available and can answer those for you there super quickly. But yeah, anyways, thank you all for joining, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you,
Bye.
everyone.